Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today we're going to be talking about Adam Warlock. I got to tell you, I've been getting tons of questions and complaints about Adam Warlock, and I think there's been some debate, I know, amongst other content creators talking about how they feel that Adam Warlock is disappointing, that he's not as powerful as they expected. I've had a lot of players say, hey, he's the first mythic legendary. I thought he was going to be the best character in the game. He's not. I've had other players tell me that, for example, they expected that this character would just make the whole team go, and now they're finding that actually when they throw in Doom or they throw in Kestrel on this team, actually on a mirror match it does better. I know there's been some videos where people have been showing that off, and I'm not surprised that that's the case. So is this character bad? Is he disappointing? Should you aim for him? I actually had somebody on my stream today ask me, am I disappointed that I invested resources into him? All that sort of stuff. And the answer is a little bit more complicated than people may think. So first of all, I'm just going to tell you right now, Adam Warlock is a fantastic character. Is he one of the better characters in the game? Yes. Yes, he is. He's an excellent character, and anyone telling you otherwise is either doesn't have the character, or they lack some perspective on the game. Now, whether or not he's disappointing or not depends on your expectations. So when I look at my stock watch from last month, what I said about Adam Warlock is, even outside of the team, Adam Warlock looks like a top character, but he will not be at the same tier as characters like Kestrel, Doom, or Surfer unless his stats are also extremely high. And so really what's going on here is I think people had an expectation that Adam Warlock was going to be as important as Kestrel, Doom, or Silver Surfer, who are, I think, at this point in the game, kind of on a pinnacle of their own, probably Kestrel and Doom really above all else, with being dual origin, being so vital for raids, being so important in war, so on and so forth. Surfer, I think, is right, maybe one half notch below them. Super important characters and super powerful on their own. And so I think people were expecting Adam Warlock to either outclass them or be in that same category. And I think that lacks some perspective. And if you really had that expectation, I think you haven't been paying a lot of attention to the game. So let's look here at the legendary characters in this game. If you look at the legendary characters in the game, I hate to break it to you, but none of these characters are the best characters in the game. The best one is Adam Warlock by a country mile, right? Ebony Maw is not one of the best characters in the game, or Doc Ock, or Nick Fury, or Black Bolt, or Phoenix, or Jubilee, or any of them. So, that is just not where Marvel Strike Force has been for some time. Legendary characters for the last year or so have just not been the focus of Marvel Strike Force. And I understand that there's people out there saying it's all about the legendaries, but I think maybe they've come from other games or whatever, but that's just not where this game is at. And giving that advice to new players, where you have new players focused on farming for legendaries, I think is really not good advice at this stage of the game. So, at one point, just to be clear, the game was not always that way. The game, when I started 16, 17 months ago, the game revolved around some super powerful legendary characters. Black Bolt, Phoenix, and then a month or two after I joined, Ebony Maw. Those three characters were super powerful, and a focus of the game at the time was getting your Asgardians up so that you'd get Black Bolt, and then two of the Asgardians would help you unlock Phoenix, and then Black Bolt would help you get Ebony Maw, and these are three of the top characters in the game. But that hasn't been the case for a long, long time. Doc Ock, I was so excited. He was the first legendary unlocked at 7 stars. He was never super impactful. I mean, he was a very good character. He's got amazing things about his kit that I think will stand the test of time, but he's never been the OMG top super character the way that Black Bolt or Phoenix were when they came out. He was good. Like, his team was always good. But it very quickly became just another war defense team that you threw on war defense, right? He was never even the best war defense character at the time. Emma Frost was better, even in his heyday. And he never really transformed Arena or anything like that. He was good, but he's nothing amazing, right? Jubilee. I mean, Jubilee's necessary for her team, but it's never been the best team in the game. It's arguably hasn't even been the best mutant team in the game during its run. It's very, very, very good at mutant raids. And yes, it's a necessary mutant raid team. And she is essential to the team. Okay, don't get me wrong. She is required to make the team run because she has all this crap in her passive that the team absolutely needs to function. And if you don't have Jubilee, you can't really have an Astonishing X-Men team because your Beast won't get speed bar, and they won't get speed bar on killing enemies, and they won't have 30% max health, and in raids they won't have all the speed and damage. So in raids in particular, but anywhere, she's the one who makes the team go, kind of like Magneto does or Doc Ock, but she's never been one of the best characters in the game. In fact, she's not even the best character on her own team. I mean, it's more important to focus resources on Bishop than Jubilee. As long as she's alive and landing her debuffs, she's fine. So, it's been, is Adam Warlock kind of in the same vein? Yeah, I mean, Adam Warlock is actually a better standalone character than Jubilee. He's got super power creep stats that are on the lines of the Dooms and Surfers of the world. He's got a great kit that gives, he extends debuffs on his basic. He's got multiple, he's got a 2-turn ability block on turn 1, and then he does, this other stuff here, ability block and disrupt. And he does 2 stuns on turn 2. He stuns 2 characters. Very, very powerful, right? And he's got other great stuff about his kit. He revives and so forth. He's a strong standalone character. Now, I understand that people are saying, well, he's not even the best character in the game, or he doesn't rival that. I think that's true. I don't think he's as good as Kestrel or Dr. Doom. But here's something to keep in mind. He gives you another character in that tier. In other words, yes, it is true that Kestrel or Doom, if they are put on the Infinity Watch team, are just as good, if not better in certain contexts, depending on the context. But in war, right, you can't just take your Kestrel and Doom and throw them on your Infinity Watch because that'll break up another team. So this gives you another character that's a top tier character to add to your roster. Is he a top 10 or 15 character? Sure. Where in that I haven't thought about, and I don't, try to do a lot of those sort of, rankings for the moment anyways, but he's clearly in a top power tier in this game. Now, what I think a lot of people are upset about, though, is that there's an expectation that they have that legendary characters should be the best characters in the game or among the best characters in the game, and that this game should revolve around them. And, there are games like that. I play on the side Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. It totally revolves around legendary characters and these kind of super legendary characters that they call Galactic Legends. But that's not this game. That's not where this game has been for a while. And it's got pluses and minuses. Okay? So for example, the fact that you focus on legendaries, what that does is that helps the more experienced players. It helps whales, right? But, if you look at Infinity Watch, the fact of the matter is that Infinity Watch works well without Adam Warlock. The team functions without him. You know what that's good for? That's good for free-to-play players, and that's good for new players. I find it interesting that I get a lot of hate for wailing on the game for some reason, and yet the same people who are like, "Hey, what about free-to-play players? What about newer players?" They're also mad that the legendary is not more powerful. Having this legend, if this guy was the one above all character in the game, that would help me, but it wouldn't help new people starting. It wouldn't help free-to-play players because this is obviously not a free-to-play friendly legendary. So right now, I will tell you, I am helping some new players in the game who've been playing for, one guy's been playing for 3 weeks, another guy's been playing for a month, another guy's been playing for 45 days. I've been helping them out, and they're running these characters. There's a guy who literally is running the 4 Infinity Watch plus Kestrel, who he got out of a Mega Orb, and he's got that team in Arena. It's the same team that many veterans are running, right? Is that good for the game? I don't know. Is it good for new players like him? Sure. It's great for new players, right? Because right now, what the devs have done is they've blown up all of our new player guides. I put a lot of time into a new player infographic, and it used to be where I would tell new players, hey, if you're free to play, focus on Wave 1 Avengers. And if you're wailing out, get your symbiotes, right? And whale out on Symbiote Spider-Man and so forth, and you can build around that team. Well, now my advice for new players is focus on the OP character that you're getting for free, because all the new characters are so much better than all the old, right? If you started a few months ago, you could get Surfer for 2 stars for free and build around that. If you started last month, you got Kestrel for 4 stars or above. If you're, even if you're a free-to-play player, you can build around that character, right? Now, if you got even 2 stars, even if you just unlocked whatever the unlock is for these, for Phyla-Vell and for Moondragon, as long as you unlock those characters, either one of them, just farm Gamora and Nebula easily and just get through stuff. So what I think is this is the direction the devs have chosen for the game. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I hear the complaints that people have, but I think it's a little inconsistent in terms of what people want. I keep hearing that the game's all about whales and krakens and it's all pay to win. Okay. Then they do stuff that's like very free-to-play friendly, like give everybody in the game Kestrel, give everybody in the game this team that you don't even need a legendary to work. You can just pop in the character you got for free last month and it blows through stuff and people aren't happy. Here's what I would say. I think that if I had to say what the issue is with Marvel Strike Force relating to characters is, it's very, they're actually generous as these hero collector games go about giving you free characters. But if you're not there when the characters are released, you don't get them, right? Kestrel's unfarmable, Surfer unfarmable. Pretty soon Phyla-Vell, Moondragon, right? They're gonna, that's it. If you weren't there, you didn't get them. And I hope they're not like Emma Frost and they're gone for years and unfarmable, because I think that'll be the issue unless they keep releasing OP characters. So I think it's a complicated thing. The bottom line is Adam Warlock is great. His team is great. I've showcased the team in this channel in War, and we've got a raid video that's coming out later today. You'll get to see how they blow through things, and how he's very good in the Doom raid. He's great in DD4. Their team's very good. So what are we upset about here? I think we may be upset about our own expectations, our own dream for the game, and that's not exactly matching up with the devs. And what I guess I'll just say is I'm not sure what to make of some of this either. But there are definite winners and losers, and they're not necessarily who you'd expect. And frankly, right now, the winners are new players, free-to-play players, as far as the power status of Legendaries go. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, check out our Discord, give me your thoughts. You can give me in the comments below or go to the Discord. And that's linked below. We have lots of discussion there. Or come to my Twitch stream. We talk there as well.